Greetings, sirs and madams. I'm Seraphic Zero. We're playing Gundam Battle Operation 2, and it's time for another episode of NEWB-STOMPING. So as you might guess, this is gonna be an extraordinarily one-sided match, and I take no pleasure in posting these videos or even playing these matches, but I'm sort of posting it to point out some issues that new players might run into. So we're in a 300 cost rated match, and I'm using the level 1 Gym Cannon Space Assault type. It's a new grunt suit that I really like a lot. Basically it's a support type with fairly good mobility and extremely good combo options. And yeah, it's an excellent suit, although I will say this match doesn't really necessarily do a good job of showcasing its powers. Yeah, so just to start off with, you can see that it can use a rocket bazooka, it has the regular shoulder cannon, and it has a beam spray gun for a sub, so it has a lot of combo powers. You can switch between those weapons. Two of the weapons can stun, the bazooka can move and stun, of course, and the beam spray gun, it does a lot of damage for a sub weapon, especially for... Did that guy just boost up and punch me? What the heck? Anyway, the beam spray gun is fantastic. It does overheat in 3 shots, but it does tremendous damage, especially for low cost rooms. Like these suits don't have a lot of HP, but yeah, that you can just combo from a stun into the beam spray gun and be fine. And I did turn off my Vulcans for the suit. I think it has Vulcans, but yeah, I just turned them off. I probably could have used them in a few situations, but yeah, just sometimes there's too many weapons to manage. Okay, and there's the quick turn, which you should use sometimes. So, as you saw in the montage at the beginning of the match, yeah, so over the course of 2 matches, I ran into a ton of new players. Oh Jesus, that was, so that was a level 1 gym. You saw it was 100 cost, but we're in a 300 cost room. So there's, the first big mistake you'll see a lot of new players will make is they will take a mobile suit that is too weak for the cost range we're playing in. Like in rated and in quick matches, I think, you'll always post the cost of the room. So this room is 300. And typically, you don't want to go below cost if possible. Of course, the game rules won't allow you to go above. But if you have to go below, don't go any lower than just 50 below cost. So since this is 300, nobody should really be using anything below 250. And that's just because there's a stark performance difference between mobile suits of different costs. So you don't really want to gimp yourself or your team by using a low cost suit. And yeah, so as you can see on the radar, there are a bunch of enemy pilots that have ejected and they're just roaming around the map. And yeah, that's going to be a big lesson for new players. Just because you can eject from your mobile suit doesn't mean that you should. So you'll see a lot of enemy players just spending the whole match trying to capture point D right here, and it's not going to do them a lot of good, especially because we essentially have control of this area. You shouldn't try to capture a point when you're completely surrounded by the enemy. You're just going to get yourself killed. You're going to lose a ton of points, and the most important part is you're losing a bunch of time. Time that you waste trying to capture points and ejecting, it should be spent, you know, with your allies, forming like a strong formation and focusing fire on enemy units. So yeah, so I accidentally got some friendly fire on my teammate's shield. That's sort of my fault. Yeah, sometimes support units, they can accidentally hit people in the back, so I gotta position more carefully. So what I'm doing here is I'm sitting a little higher in elevation than my teammates, that way we don't cross each other's line of fire, and then also I can get a clear line of sight. And then another good thing that causes is that if you and your teammates are at different elevations, the enemy can't shoot at both of you at the same time. They have to either look up, look down, or look forward in elevation. So that way, it's a better defensive formation and offensive at the same time. So yeah, I recommend just try taking a different elevation. Okay, so I just took out a pilot. There is another pilot throwing flash bombs at me. And yeah, I wanted to help my teammates take out that enemy suit first, but like here he is shooting at me, so I guess I'll deal with him now. Yeah, weirdly enough, a lot of mobile suit weapons have a hard time hitting pilots, so melee is generally effective, and you can also just kind of squish a pilot by walking over them or in space running into them. Okay, so here's that level 1 gym that's respawned. Yeah, since I have type advantage over him, I'm doing incredible damage to him. Look, just 960 damage, like just from one beam spray gun shot. And I have no idea why I missed all those shots. It was very weird, like missing at point blank like that. Anyway, so at this point of the match, we're controlling both of the center spawn points on the map, so we're going to push forward into enemy territory. And watch very closely right here. So, I have 3 teammates close with me, and we're all focusing fire on the same suit. Focus fire is essentially the winning principle in this game. There's no greater damage output you're going to have than having multiple teammates all firing on the same target. And, you know, that target's basically going to be melted in seconds, and as soon as they're dead, you have a numbers advantage, so you can just rinse and repeat on a different target. Oops, yeah, there I am messing up my line of sight again, sorry. Okay, looks like that's another Gym Cannon Space Assault type. I stopped him from attacking my teammates, and we took him out. And right here I saw this support type was behind me. I really should have used the quick turn to just face him more quickly. And since I didn't, that sort of gave him an opening to just machine gun me in the back for a while. That wasn't really good. Yeah, it's not good habit in space, but I have a really bad habit of wanting to conserve my boost bar in space because I usually don't use suits that have space compatibility, so normally boost is more limited. But anyway, yeah, so the enemy team has 2 mass-produced gym cannons, and I think one of them just disconnected, unfortunately. Yeah, that's another thing you don't really want to do. Yeah, so this is a multiplayer game, team versus team, so it's rather bad manners to disconnect. Like, even if your team is losing poorly, you want to, you know, just be respectful, like, to your team, like, stick with them, like, even if you're having a rough time. And, you know, kind of show respect to the enemy team as well. And yeah, that is one thing I dislike about the game. Like, when you're doing really well, it sort of means you're ruining someone else's day. that is one thing I wish we could change about the game, but yeah, I don't think that's possible to do that without like a major overhaul or just making a different game altogether. Yeah, so they eventually destroyed my gym cannon. Yeah, like, we didn't really get to see it much, but the defenses on this suit aren't very good. Like, even though it's got a really good combo potential, lots of damage output, it's still pretty fragile because it's a gym cannon. Yeah, so pretty low HP and low defense. Yeah, so obviously we took that match. I got highest damage. Obviously I didn't land most of the kills, I just got support points. Because I think my teammates with machine guns, they tend to land the killing blows, which, you know, that's fine. Yeah, this is a game where you shouldn't worry about kill steals as long as your team is winning, or your teammate scores a kill. That is excellent, excellent news. So, yeah, so the enemy team got annihilated. I'm really sorry that happened, guys. So, yeah, yeah, one of the major problems they seem to have is they never attacked us together. They were just running in one by one, and that just caused them to be outnumbered every single time. So, you know, try to stick with your teammates. So generally, the times where you should be trying to capture a spawn point or ejecting from your suit is you should only try to capture a spawn point if your side controls the area. Like, if you're surrounded by enemies or there are a lot of enemies in the area, don't try to capture until you defeat those mobile suits first. And, you know, a lot of times ejecting isn't really worth the time. Most of the time you should really just eat the loss of points and just, you know, just wait to respawn your mobile suit. That's generally a better use of time, and sometimes that's a lot better use of time than trying to run back to base and repair. Essentially, like, any type of maybe tactical advantage you gain by ejecting from your mobile suit is beaten by the tactical advantage of focusing fire with your team. So yeah, just try to keep that in mind. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but yeah, just play it by ear. Eventually you'll get experienced at judging when is the best time to do this or that. Anyway guys, that's it for my thoughts on the Gym Cannon Space Assault type. I really like this suit. Hopefully I can get another match recorded where yeah, both teams can fight a little more evenly. But anyway, that's going to be it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and we'll see you next time.